What is up, guys? As you can see, it's about to get very nerdy. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and make a WoW video, as you can obviously see. So, WoW is actually one of the first games I ever played for a long period of time. I started playing when I was 12, played up until I was about 15, stopped for a bit, and then logged in my account last summer, stopped for school, and then I opened it back up this summer again. So we'll go ahead and make a video to show you guys why I like the game so much itself. Let's go ahead and log in. Now I'm going to make a new character for the more or less sense of the playing itself. So we'll go ahead and make a new guy. Let's go ahead and create a new character. I'm going to make a Draenei Shaman just because I've never played Draeneis that often, nor have I played a Shaman. So I think it'd be pretty fun just to mess around with one of these guys. Alright. Change the skin color. Hair color. Make it this hair color. There we go. Looks a little bit better. Let's get rid of that man bun just because, yeah, no, not quite feeling it. Don't like that either. That's not bad. There we go, that's a good fit. And choosing a name is one of the hardest things to do, so I often just use a randomizer and find one that I usually like. I try to keep it short and without too many vowels just because that can get confusing. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and I'll pick it back up once I found it. So after scratching my brain around for a good bit, I've found a name I kind of like, so go ahead and go with Rorik. And go ahead and, of course, well, that's fun. Yeah, so this is one of the biggest pains in the butt. Bardus. He looks like a Bardus. No, because once again, you can't change it without paying about a $25 fee, and that's just a pain in the butt. So, Bardinos, you know what? Sure. So here's this guy. So now I am into the world itself. You start off in Amon Vale, which is actually, I'll go ahead and get rid of these guys real quick, but it's actually on Amherst Isle over in Kalimdor in the land of Azeroth. So Azeroth is more or less the big opening world that you start off when you play World of Warcraft. Burn Crusades added a few other places such as the Outlands, and then with the expansion of Wrath, being Wrath of the Lich King, they added Northerns. Mist and Pandaria, you can guess that was added. Pandaria itself. Cataclysm was added with a few changing up a few places and adding into the Maelstrom itself. And then with Draenor, Warlords of Draenor, the most recent expansion, they had added Draenor itself. Draenor is kind of where, in a sense, these guys are from. Their ship actually crash-landed in Azeroth after the planet more or less blew up due to the fact that Gul'dan had just destroyed the entirety of the planet. There's a lot of lore back on it. I'm not the best to explain about it, but yeah, that's in short what kind of happened. So it then became the Outlands later on after it kind of went to shreds, per se. So now these guys are here with us on Azeroth, and we're going to go ahead and see how their story plays out from here. So go ahead and find a guy with a quest being the big yellow bubbles on top of their heads, and he actually gives you a little bit of script here. You guys can see obviously on the side there. So I'm going to go ahead and follow what he says to do. I have the menu map up in the top right, as most games often tend to do. So I'm going to go ahead and follow you down to that yellow question mark, which is how you turn a quest in. In his bags right now, he doesn't have much at all. And since this is one of my older characters, or last characters I've made so far, I'm going to go ahead and I could use some heirlooms if I wanted to. Heirlooms can be bought by maxed out players or players in general for a small amount of gold, or you can get them from doing PvP or other stuff like that as well. I have a good bit that I could use with this guy, but I'm probably not going to, just to have the vanilla experience of playing this guy without those. You can see there are a lot of mobs off to the sides, and oh, there's a pole. But yeah, so you can see that our ship did indeed crash land. There's one piece, there's a few pieces back there, and we're just gonna go ahead and see what all we can find out. Some more script here. The parts of the ship that remain. So indeed it did crash. Save everyone we can. Alright. Acquire 6 vials of moth blood. Interesting. But I get a belt, though, and some corn. Might as well. And so my abilities are down here in the bar. Oh, gosh dang it. But my abilities are down here in the bar. I've only got one ability so far, being the lightning bolt. But that does increase every time with your levels, as does your health and your intellect being the blue bar. That uses mana, obviously, as most RP-based games intend to do. So yeah, here's this guy. Here are the lands he's going to start off in. Here's some of the basic quests as well, and also there's one other thing that I highly recommend for players that are checking out the game for the first time. You want to change some of your interface. Let me kill this guy real quick and then I'll show you what I mean. Yeah. Alright, so changing some of your interface. I would go down to the actions bar where those are at and put the bottom left bar and bottom right bar where they go. So what that allows you to do is instead of having 6 up and down tabs, you now have 4, and then you'd have the other tabs here. So if you wanted to change up your abilities, like if you're going into raids and stuff like that, and you wanted to have a lot more available to click instead of just having to thumb up and down this guy, I would highly recommend that. But yeah, there's that much, and also controls themselves. If you go to auto loot, I would highly recommend that as well, so you don't have to sort through every single thing you kill. Now these guys will not attack me unless I attack them, as they have the yellow name, as you can see, and that means they are semi-passive. They don't aggro right away, more or less defensive. So if I were to pull these guys, though, as you can see, they do come and fight. They don't do too much damage, as it is one of the starting areas, so they're just trying to get used to the controls, as well as questing and stuff like that, as I'm trying to do with this very video. So yeah, there's that in a sense, and we'll go ahead and finish up this one quest today and turn it in, but I just want to show you guys most of the basics. As most first-person or third-person games go, the controls are WASD for moving, and a lot of your view changes can be done with your mouse. Now you can see that we do have the number pad down here, so we can just do that for the abilities themselves, or if I wanted to manually click on them, I could do that as well. But when it comes into bigger things later on, like doing dungeons, bigger quests, or raids, you definitely want to have the ability to just press one number instead of hovering your mouse over top, because that can be a pain in the butt every time. And also when poop hits the fan, you need to be ready. But yeah, so here's this. One of the things I'm going to add to my action bar is not only do I have some heirlooms from my previous characters being maxed out and buying them, but I also got a mount. Now this mount actually doesn't go too fast compared to other mounts. When you get to level 20, you get a mount that goes, I believe, the speed 100, and then you get flying, you get 180, and then once you get maxed out with your flying and so on and so forth, I think it goes all the way up to like 310. But for this guy, he only goes, I believe, 60% speed increase. But I mean, even still, that helps out a boatload when you're trying to go from point A to point B. And you can see this guy has some heirlooms on right now. The heirlooms themselves do actually help to increase the amount of XP you gain every time. But once again, I'm going to try to do this guy vanilla just because it's more, I wouldn't say more fun that way, but it's just a bit more interesting for the players that have not, or gamers that have not played this game before, to see what it would be like without that. However, it would have a large boost for me if I were to, or XP boost, if I were to use them, because it does increase, like each one's almost like by 10%. So if you're adding 10% plus 10% plus 10%, that's obviously like 30%, and that increases and goes very quick. So there's 5, that's 10% there. And I can only use one of these guys, but they do a lot more damage per se, or different abilities and such. Have a shield, increases my stamina, so that'll increase my health. Stamina and intellect as well. Some of the trinkets have special abilities and so on and so forth, but yeah. So I'm just gonna do more or less vanilla and see what all I come up with. Shaman Trainer. He's gonna give me another ability, so we'll go ahead outside and test that real quick just to be able to grab that and advance my character just whatever small amount I actually can. I'll have to reach level 3 first. Okay. So, Draenei Survivor saved. Let's go ahead and I have to kill some of these guys now. A lot of the quests do involve just more or less killing things from time to time and gathering things here and there. So if you're not the biggest fan of that, there are other things you can do, of course, in the game itself, but that is majority of what the game is. If you were to make a character such as a Death Knight, after you get to, you have to have I think you at least have to have one character of level 55 in order to unlock the Death Knight themselves. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that, but then you can unlock them, and they have a lot of really fun quest play from the very get-go. Wargs always have that as well. Those guys are kind of like werewolves in a sense. A lot of the horror characters have really fun gameplay from the get-go as well, such as goblins and so on and so forth. Humans have an alright gameplay, I guess, from the very beginning. But once again, this guy is one I have not played, so I'm going to go ahead and run a Draenei Shaman with my videos. But I've eaten up enough of your time today for you guys, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great day. And once again, if you enjoyed the video, or if you want me to continue doing these types of videos, feel free to comment and subscribe, and give this video a like if you really enjoyed it that much. Thank you guys for watching once again, and this is Lee signing off.